Hi, everybody. I am Andrea Annette, and welcome to Story Time. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Andrea McClean, and she is a masterful storyteller who really champions for friendship and self-discovery. So she has a heart as big as her imagination, and she's able to illuminate a unique spark in all of us. She is the author of The Adventures of Chloe, Burnie and Chloe, I believe. She's going to correct me if I'm wrong. And it's a children's book series that really inspire courage, kindness, and true connection, the magic of true connection. So please help me welcome Andrea McClean. Hello, hello, hello.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me on.
I am so excited. Did you bring your book?
Yes, I have, yeah, I have a few of them here. I have one that I think will be fun to read today too.
Okay, so that's great. So aside from your business, I know that you have other interests, like you created this method. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. You mean my SOAR method?
Yes.
Yes. So it's funny. I didn't start out, desiring to be a children's author, but it came along with the journey and I've had so much fun with it. But I'm a coach, and through coaching, I wrote a book, Decide to Be Your Future Self. And in it, I introduced the SOAR method. And the S stands for shift your mindset, the O for overcome challenges, the A for activate your plan, and the R for reflect and refine. And so that's the SOAR method. And using that, I coach clients in terms of achieving what their vision is for what's next and transforming their lives.
I love that. I love that. And I think a lot of people, I love the part about reflection because I think that when people, when we get older, we don't want to look back on our lives and self-actualize and say, I wish I would have,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't think people really reflect enough, like on their day to day, and take those moments that maybe didn't go so well and say, well, how could I have made it better? What was my
Right.
part in it? And what can I do better for next time? So I'm really big on reflection.
I didn't know
So
that. That's wonderful.
you're talking to the right one. I actually did a reflective series of journals for myself, and then I published them because
Oh,
they
wonderful.
just with little prompts to help me get through certain things, but I
Mhm.
found them very helpful. So
Wonderful.
I think that you must be having great results with this because it really forces people to put that action into place, the different steps.
Yes,
And
it does.
I like the way that you broke it up because it really gives them a very definitive path that they have to take.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people have told me that the reflect part, a lot of times it's about refining, but like you were saying, sometimes we don't think about reflect. So they appreciated me putting in reflect and refine as the last step.
Yeah, you do have to. I think our past really guides our future because if we can look at it and be open about where things went wrong and our part in that, right? And what could have been better, then it kind of leads us to the future. So I celebrate failures just as much as I
Yes.
celebrate, you know, wins, right? Because it's
Right.
those failures that you keep having that eventually get you that win. And
Yeah.
um, I, I just think it's so important to see each and every step as part of that journey. So I
Yeah, I
love that. And
agree. Yeah. And when you talk about steps, like as I look over my life, as I went through maybe some challenges, I didn't see how it was all going to connect, but somehow the dots have connected and it has informed what I do today. So even if I failed in my own terms, it still was part of the process, like you're saying.
yeah, and you help so many other people, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think that we when we're in that muck, when things are going wrong, that we can really know where it's taking us at that moment.
Right.
We we can't imagine that it's going to take us anywhere better. But
You're
but
right.
then it does. And life happens, it unfolds very naturally. So let's share some of your story because boys and girls, I know you want to hear a story, but I want you to know a little bit about our authors because they take a lot of time and great care with crafting the most perfect stories to really help you and inspire your little imaginations. Okay, so Tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so I'll tell you first the context of the series. So it's a series called The Adventures of Burnie and Chloe, and I actually just published the seventh book in the series. Um, and I'll tell you quickly the titles, but they are, first Burnie meets Chloe. So that was the first book, and then they're all along the journey. They go off to doggy day camp together. He's missing his family. So and then the most recent one, Chloe moved away, and now Burnie is visiting her, trying to help her to make some new friends, etc. But they actually are two real dogs. Burnie is my family dog, and Chloe is my son and daughter-in-law's dog. And the stories are really based on some real things that happened, loosely. I created fun out of what happened, but it's based on some real things that happened. So I wanted to bring, because maybe I didn't realize I was doing this, but because I'm a coach, I wanted to bring the social emotional themes to my stories. So this one I'm going to read today for you is when Burnie meets a chipmunk.
Oh, that's so cute. I have a dog who's snoring beside me, so I can appreciate that.
So do you want me to just read from the
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes?
want to hear the
Okay.
story.
All right. So I hope the pages can be seen while I try to
Yes,
read it.
it's very
Okay.
clear.
So Burnie and Chloe had just finished playing outside and were ready to nap. As they stepped inside, Chloe saw something whizzing by the front door. Burnie, did you see something just run inside the house? Asked Chloe. Nope, I didn't see anything. Maybe you are just super sleepy, Burnie replied. Burnie and Chloe settled down to take a much needed nap. A few minutes later, Burnie suddenly felt something crawling on his leg. When he opened his eyes, a curious chipmunk was staring at him. Chloe, wake up! Guess what? There's a little chipmunk in the house, said Burnie excitedly. Aha! I knew it wasn't a dream. That must be what zipped past us when we walked in, exclaimed Chloe. Burnie and Chloe started barking loudly and chasing the chipmunk all through the house. Look, Burnie, there it is again, by the table in the corner, exclaimed Chloe. Burnie chased after the little chipmunk, but it scurried away so fast it vanished like magic. Burnie and Chloe searched through the house, but the chipmunk could not be found. After running around the house, the dogs gave up the search and slept. When it was time to eat, Ava filled Burnie's and Chloe's bowls with yummy food. The yummy smells of dinner woke the dogs right up from their naps. Burnie and Chloe couldn't wait to eat and ran excitedly to their bowls. But guess what? They weren't the only ones who caught a whiff of that yummy dinner. Someone else must be hungry too. Here comes the little chipmunk, ready to eat. Burnie and Chloe made some growling sounds, but the little chipmunk didn't budge. Ava heard the dogs growling and came into the kitchen. Seeing the little chipmunk, she gasped in surprise. Ava ran to find her dad, to tell him that a tiny chipmunk was exploring the house. Ava's dad opened the front door, hoping that the chipmunk would scamper outside on its own. Burnie and Chloe were playfully following the chipmunk as it zipped around the house. The little chipmunk scurried up the stairs, and the dogs followed behind. Burnie knew they needed a clever way to help the little chipmunk find his way back outside. You stay on one side of the stairs, and I will stay on the other, said Burnie. The then hurried back down the stairs and out the front door. Phew, that was quite an adventure, wasn't it? Burnie exclaimed. You're right, Burnie, Chloe replied. I am glad the chipmunk found its way out safely. After all that excitement, everything settled down again, nice and calm. Burnie and Chloe finally got to gobble up the yummy food in their bowls. See you on our next adventure.
I love that. That's so cute.
Thank you.
It's so adorable. I could see that actually happening too. So they're both dogs and they go on all these adventures together. So if people, where are your books sold? If people want to purchase your books and find out more about Burnie and Chloe's adventures.
Yes, I am on my website, www.burnieandchloe.com. but I'm also on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And the six of the books are also translated into Spanish. I haven't done the new one yet, which is about Chloe moving to a new city. But yes, available, wherever. But if they go to my website, I have tips that I have there on friendship and lending a helping hand and cheering up others when they're down. I also have some downloadable worksheets, and I'm actually working on an activity book that I will be releasing probably in about 3 weeks or so. So
I love this. I
thank
love
you.
this.
Thank you.
I think they're so relatable and they're so adorable. And I really think that these are going to go very well with our audience. I really do.
Thank
We're
you.
going to
Thank you
have to
so
have
much.
you back to read another book
I
soon.
would I
You
would
must come
love to.
back and take us on this adventure with you, right? Because I really think when I was little, I don't know about well, you boys and girls, but I loved a really great story. I could get lost in a story. And I think I had such an amazing imagination as a child. And I think as we get older, we lose a lot of that imagination. We lose some of that magical thinking. And we spend a lot of our adulthood looking for that magical thinking again to enjoy those stories. I love them just as much now as I did when I was young, right? So I really look forward to having you come back, right, boys and girls, right?
I would
Andrea's
love
gonna
to
come.
come back and read another story.
Yes, well, Andrea is going to come back and see us. I hope you've enjoyed this session of story time with Andrea McClean and myself, Andrea Annette, and we'll have the links below this film so you can actually purchase her books, okay? So even if you weren't listening, they'll be there, okay? All right, guys, have a good night.